Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nazar Circus. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing okay. I am doing well. Um, Staying positive despite all the craziness happening in the world with the wars and all the uncertainty and chaos. But yes, we have to stay positive and just keep pushing through. So normally when I do a musings, I kind of have an idea what I want the topic, the subject or the title to be. This one I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm sure I'll figure it out by the time I finish offloading what's on my mind. So I've just come back from dropping my daughter off at Gatwick. She will be 22 later on in the year. And so she's going away with her friends. It's not her first trip abroad with her friends. But this one just kind of got me thinking as I was driving back from Gatwick. First of all, the starting point was, so we leave about an hour, 25 minutes from Gatwick. And I said to her yesterday, oh, I'll drop you off. And she was like, no, Mom, don't worry. If you can't drop me, it's fine. I'll Uber. I was like, how much is the Uber? She said about £80. I was like, what? £80? So I was like, hell no. But I was going to drop her anyway. I love traveling. And so I really get this joy when I drop people off at the airport or when I pick people up from the airport. Even if I can't travel, I live vicariously through people around me who travel. So I don't have an issue at all. So in my mind, I had decided I was going to take her anyway. But when I dropped her off, obviously I didn't take her into the airport. Her friends were already there. So I just dropped her off and I started driving home. And I just started thinking I was just comparing our childhoods, my childhood and her childhood. Any parents who were born and raised properly in Nigeria, when I say properly, I mean like came to the UK much, much, much older, not as children. So experienced Niger properly and Niger parenting and all that. And then before coming to the UK, so it's those parents I'm referring to. I'm sure some of them, this would resonate with some of them. I was just comparing my daughter's life at nearly 22 and my life at nearly 22. So first of all, I was born and raised in the East. I was born and raised in Enugu. Went to primary school, obviously nursery school, primary school. Then when it came to secondary school, I went to Lagos. So that was my first experience of even being away from home. So obviously teenage years, all of that was fine. But I know the fear my parents, especially my mom, had with me, like traveling back to school. And so I went by air. I don't even remember going by road, to be honest, throughout my secondary school years. Went by air, Enugu to Lagos, 45 minutes. My mom said, no, you can't go by road. All the things that could happen. And if you stop here, I don't want my child, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, yes. So went by air. Then university came. I went to Jos, University UJ, for, I want to say about 2 years. Again, I know the fear. My mom in particular, had about me going by road. So I'd go to Lagos and then fly to Jos. I think I remember coming back from Jos one time by road, but that was even a trip that was. If you know that, I'll use kurukere. If you understand, you understand. It was one of those trips, so it wasn't a planned trip. That my parents were aware of, right? So I did that by road, which was like I was petrified. So that's university. Then I come to the UK as a fully grown woman. And I know that when I was coming to the UK, Obviously the same concerns. My dad was not in Nigeria at the time. My dad was in Saudi working at the time. But I know obviously the concerns the parents had. You're coming, traveling abroad. My siblings were here, so my brothers were already here. But still, I know the concerns and the fears, and you're going somewhere. You're gonna be fine. Are you gonna be safe? Oh my God, this is me coming as a grown woman, like an adult, a proper adult. I'm not talking about 80. I'm talking about my late 20s. Yeah. So yeah, no, early 20s. And I know the hair, it was big. In fact, I remember one of my aunties, bless her, she came to the house. I wasn't home. This was in Enugu. Came to the house. She waited for me. She's passed away. She's my godmom. Bless her. Yeah, Chief Mrs. Amole. Um, from my mom's village, or from Abriba. She came. Elder. I would actually. Abriba people like to put elder, so I think it's Elder Chief Mrs. Amole or Chief Elder. I don't know. But anyway, she came to the house. Waited for me. When I came back, she gave me this long talk about traveling and, be careful and some other things I wouldn't even say on here. She told me all that stuff, right? So this is me traveling. This is me coming to the UK to study as a grown woman. And I had this long talk from my auntie. Obviously, from the parents as well. But as I said, my brothers were here. So it wasn't like I was even coming here to no man's land where I didn't know anybody. Brothers were here, auntie, uncle, cousins, Anyway, so I got all that and the concerns and everybody worrying. And do you know that even at my ripe age of 52, how old am I? Yeah, I'm going to be 52 this year. Do you know that even when I'm traveling on vacation, if I tell my parents that I'm traveling, they worry. Is it safe? Where are you going? No, are you sure? And then if I say certain countries, it's like, why would you go there? This one, that one, the police don't speak English. If something happens to you, that's my mother's own worry. My mother says, if you go anywhere where the police don't speak English, that you're finished. So, so sometimes even when I'm traveling, I have to think, do I need to tell them? Because they will worry. From the time I tell them, they're worried. While I'm there, they're worried. I'm getting WhatsApp messages. Ne, Kedu, are you okay? And get it. Then when I come back, again, I have to update. As I'm going, I update. When I land there, I update. While I'm there, I update. When I'm coming back, I tell them I'm boarding. Even if I don't tell my parents, I put it in the group. I tell everybody. And then, of course, when I land, once I touch down Heathrow or Gatwick or whichever airport I flew in from, I would again update, and yes, then my parents will calm down because, okay, I'm now safely back to where I call home now. Yeah, this is me. I am going to be 52, and this has happened throughout. So this brings me to the crux of the matter, right? I know that I have friends who have children around my age or maybe slightly older or slightly younger, and we talk about how, this generation, Gen Z, how they're covered in cotton wool. How they can't, every little thing, they're emotional and they can't handle things but they want to do things, but they can't handle things. But I was just thinking now, no. That's what I was thinking about as I was driving back. I would always say, they're covered in cotton wool. But I've realized that no, it's me who's covered with cotton wool, and maybe people like me who have the same experience as what I just described, who are covered in cotton wool, it's me and people like me, because my child, first of all, so yes, I've talked about my own childhood, so let me talk about my daughter's childhood. I remember in primary school when they went on was it primary school? Yes, I think it was primary school when they went on a school trip. Yeah, when they were much older in primary school. I don't know the guys. Please don't ask me what year, 1 year, two. I don't know those years. I call it primary school. I call it secondary school. That's the one my brain understands. I still think with my Nigerian brain about most things. I remember a trip. I think it would have been late primary school or maybe early secondary school. I think maybe there was even one in late primary school. They had a school trip, I think. If not late primary school, early secondary school. Anyway, I can't remember. Bottom line is, when she was very young, they had a school trip. I know how I thought about, should I let her go? But I knew I had to let her go. Her friends were going, and I wanted her to experience things with her age mates. Why would I tell her not to go, keep her in the house? And she wouldn't go and experience. I knew the teachers would look after them. But I remember I'm not sure I even slept. Whilst my daughter was away, worried, anxious. Oh my God, will she be fine? Will she not be fine? Meanwhile, my daughter happily packed her load, her ngongo, as Igbo people say, and went on her trip. So that was the first of a few of these school trips. Obviously, some of them were even longer than a few days. But the whole time, just how this daughter of mine, who is my only child, just very happily was going on her trips and enjoying her life. Whilst me, I was busy, still thinking, oh my God, I don't know. Okay, so that's fine. Finished secondary school, then university. Then the trip started, her and her friends. And I remember thinking, oh my God, but I still didn't really read too much meaning into it. I still tried to exert control, as in, okay, have you booked your flight? Where are you going? What terminal? I would take her to the airport. I would actually go in, wait for them to check in for some of the trips. Even though she didn't want me to come in, I would offer to carry them so that I could still, be in control. I'd offer to take her and her friends to the airport for most of these trips, and in fact, bring them back if possible. But these trips, they found the trips, they found the packages, they found affordable. You know these ones, this Gen Z, this Gen Z, they don't play with their money. They found affordable packages, booked their, checked, did their whatever, booked their hotels, arranged themselves, and checked themselves in. These are children that are how old? 19, 20, 21? Like going around the world. My daughter, the places that she's gone to and she's planning to go to, I haven't even gone to those places. This trip today, they're going to the Dominican Republic. I haven't even ventured near that side. So I'm asking myself, who is the sheltered one? Who really is the sheltered one? Then let's talk about work. I remember when I finished JS3, so I would have been 15, and my mom got me a job in a furniture shop in Enugu. I think, if I remember correctly, I probably was the only person in my peer group or my friend group who was working, and I was very, very upset. I hated that job, and I just made sure that I made it clear I didn't like it, because I was like, why? But because my mom schooled here and obviously had vacation jobs, she wanted to instill that in me, but I just didn't like it. I was like, why? Nobody else is working. Why is it me that has to work? I didn't like it at all. But my daughter, as soon as she could start earning, she started working, tutoring maths. I think maths, English. They tried to get her to do science. I don't think she liked science very much. But it was mainly maths, because she's good at maths. She started tutoring and earning her, I think it was £10 something an hour. I can't remember what it was. She found the job. She found the tutoring job herself. She found the job herself and started tutoring other students somewhere close by. I would drop her there and collect her just to help her save, money. And sometimes she would have to take the bus if I wasn't available. But she started earning. I didn't have to look for the job. She knew that she wanted to start earning. And she started earning her money, small money. And when the minimum wage increased, they increased the pay too. She continued. Then she started doing hair. Now she does hair, mainly. and I think she's about to quit the tutoring job because she prefers doing hair, and she's making her money. Guys, let me tell you, this trip, I don't even know how much the flight was. I don't know how much accommodation was. None of that. I don't know anything about that because she funded everything herself. And she's not even 22. So, me, apart from that job I did at my JS3, which I did for a few months very reluctantly, I didn't work again until I came to the UK, started studying, and then this is well into my 20s, started studying, and then I had to, I found a part-time job. Again, very reluctantly. Very reluctantly, I was like, oh my God, why do I have to work? But I needed to, everybody was working, so I needed to start working. But this was well into my adulthood. So the moral of this music, if there's such a thing as moral, is that we we're Gen X parents. We like to think that we're the ones that are, we're tough and, hardworking and, streetwise, full of wisdom, can deal with life, can handle things as they come, whatever they come. Really, really. And I still enjoy the sad thing. I think I'll call it sad thing, is that I still enjoy the fact that my parents worry and worry and worry. It's got to be sad. Let me call it. Let me call it what it is. It's actually sad, really, on my part, that I enjoy it. Like, in fact, I think I may even sulk if I felt like I traveled and they didn't even check in to say, did China's get where she was going? Did she get in safely? I think I would actually sulk. Let me even admit, I think I would even sulk a little bit. They didn't even check in. This is my parents are my siblings, though, not just my parents, my siblings. I think I would even sulk a little bit. Maybe even throw in an off comment. Nobody else after me, but I'm okay. Yet, this is me 30 years older than my child. And she's gone about her business. As I was driving back, she just texted me, oh, we're all checked in. She met up with her friends, they're having breakfast. Obviously, I gave the usual pep talk, be careful, drinks, watch your drinks, don't leave your drinks, make sure you guys stay together, all that stuff. But this is, like I said, this is not her first trip. She's done quite a few trips. So that's what even made me just get home and just hop on this podcast thing, just to do this Musings. It's just, I'm really enjoying comparing parenthood over the years. I'm really enjoying it. And I didn't even tell my parents my daughter was traveling, because if they worry for me when I travel, okay, imagine the worry when I tell them that she's traveled and I tell them where she's gone to. I mean, I will tell them at some point, but let me just not. I didn't want to tell them before, because then they'll start worrying. Then they will message me today or call me on the way to the airport, or call her and call me and be harassing me. So let me be the one worrying. Just let me do the worrying by myself first. Let her get where she's going, and then I'll drop it in, like in a few days, when she's settled, or maybe even when she's about to come back. I will tell them. Depending on, I will gauge things, and then I'll decide to tell them. But yeah, guys, that's what I really wanted to just get off my chest. Does anybody feel the same way? Does anybody agree with me that it's even us who are sheltered? Obviously, people my age who were born and bred here, obviously the experience is going to be different. I'm talking about those of us who were born and raised in Nigeria, or in, our respective countries. Oh my God, guys. Hi. As you know, my musings are therapeutic for me. came home and I just had to get this off my chest. But it's the difference between our childhoods, my childhood and my daughter's childhood. The difference is just shocking. It's just shocking, and I'm really enjoying parenting in this generation. I'm enjoying parenting in this generation because I feel like our parents, obviously, they parented how for for their generation, but they made most of our decisions for us. Most, and in fact, they're still making those decisions for if we allow them. They're still making those decisions. What school do you go to? What subject are you going to study? Where are you going to live if they can influence that? Who are you going to marry or who are you going to date if they can influence that? So that generation, the amount of control, yes, let me use that word, the amount of control, loving, let me put loving, because we're not doing it to be mean, the amount of loving control, if there's such a thing, that our parents had, we do not have that. We don't have that. I don't have that. Let me even speak for myself. Let me not say we. I don't have that, since I'm talking about my own life. I don't have that. When it came to what university my daughter was going to go to, she told me her choices, and I said, okay, this one is this one is this, but I had no control over what university she went to. The course that she studied, she told me what she wanted to study, why she wanted to study it, but I had no control over the choice. The only thing I had control over was her going to university. I just said to her, I think everybody needs to have a degree. And in fact, I don't even know if I'm right, to be honest, the way the world is these days, because she reminds me every day of people who did not go to university and are very successful. But me, coming from the background that I came from, this is my belief. I still feel that a university degree is something I felt that a university degree was something I wanted my child to have. And I don't regret that bit of loving control. Loving control that we're talking about. I just feel that a degree, I don't know, it's just maybe psychological. I just feel that you should have a degree, you should have a university degree. I just feel that not having a degree comes with some other things. It may not, not having a degree doesn't mean you're not going to be successful, because we've seen that that's not even the case. Many of these Gen Zs finish secondary school, sixth form or whatever, secondary school, whatever we want to call it, and they go about their business and start making their money, right? So I know that they don't need a degree to make money, or to be successful. But for me, I just wanted my child to have a degree, and I gave her my reasons, and I'm glad she agreed with my reasons. Because if she said she didn't want to go to university, I wouldn't have forced her. I would not have forced her. I am adapting the way I was parented, and I'm adapting some of how I was parented, and I'm also tailoring in the generation that I'm parenting and the world today. So if she had said, I don't want to go to university, I wouldn't have been happy, but I wouldn't have made her go to university. So, yeah, but I'm glad she did, and she's about to graduate, so that's another story. But yeah, it's just crazy. Anyway, this was, I keep saying my musings won't be long, and they always end up long. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to share with you guys, just my experience. And yeah, let me know if you share some of my experiences, if you feel that you were sheltered or if you were born here. Obviously, tell me about your experience, because I have friends who were born and raised here. Not Nigerian, but Black, and I know that they started doing their own thing at a very young age too. So obviously it's very different. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I just wanted to share this, and I feel better now that I've offloaded what was on my mind. Guys, yeah, as usual, musings, my musings don't have a beginning, they don't have an ending. I just pour out my mind and that's it. So that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts. Yes, listen, share, comment. Let me know what you think. Okay, guys. Until next time, I'm sending you peace, love. Peace, love, and what else? Be careful out there. There's just so much going on. I don't know if people are feeling how I'm feeling. I just feel there's just so much uncertainty in the air, and it's making me anxious. I was actually discussing this with my daughter, and she feels the same way. There's just so much. It's just crazy. I think the world is moving a bit mad right now. So please take care of yourselves. That's what I want to say. And love each other. Love yourself and love each other. Okay? Until next time, yes, we will catch up soon. Let me go get myself a coffee now that I've offloaded what was on my mind. Take care, everybody, and thanks for listening.